Morning, folks. It is Sunday morning, a relatively cool and cloudy day here in countryside Illinois. I hope you're all doing well. It's been a while since I've just kind of ranted about something. I thought today might be I have a few minutes this morning, so I thought I might sort of relate to you some things that I've been thinking about and experiencing lately. As some of you know, I have a reading sub-interest in, for lack of a better word, comparative religions or philosophies. And over the past few years, I've been trying to at least partially cure my ignorance of some of the more important, or well, depending on what you mean by important, some of the more well-known religious and philosophical writings out there. And especially with religion, I've recently worked my way through the Revised Standard Version of the Bible. Did that a few years ago. Very, very, very interesting. I've also read the Quran, an English version of the Quran. Unfortunately, I will never be able to read the Arabic original, unfortunately. It's a beautiful language, though, a beautiful looking language and a beautiful sounding language. And I've also just recently picked up a 3-volume set of Hindu scriptural writings, particularly the Dhammapada and the Bhagavad Gita and the, what's the other one? The Upanishads. Yeah, that's it, the Upanishads. And I've worked my way through the Dhammapada and I'm getting through to the end of the English version of the Bhagavad Gita. And I've learned quite a bit. And without grokking on a whole lot, I find, at least in my interpretive sense, is that there's a certain amount of common ground and agreement amongst all of the aforementioned texts, and not the least of which being music. All three of those things, I mean the Bible, the Quran, and the Bhagavad Gita particularly, have to do with sound. And sometimes musical, but sometimes not. So sometimes musical, or sometimes just plain sound. And the best example I can think of in the Bible, of course, are the marvelous collection of 150 psalm texts, which are song texts largely of David, that have been set to music for centuries, often with marvelous results. Some of you may not know this, but the Quran, when translated, that word Quran literally means recital, to recite texts. And so recitations, of course, have to do with the spoken language and, of course, sound, which I think is rather interesting. And something that I just recently read when working through the Bhagavad Gita, that Bhagavad Gita, the word Gita, literally means song. Song. And Bhagavad is a word for God or the Lord. So the song of the Lord is a way to translate. And again, I'm no expert. I'm no expert on this, but it's a way to translate Bhagavad Gita is the song of the Lord. So I think that's all really quite fascinating, and they all have to do with music, and all having to do with sound, and the importance of sound, particularly when dealing with the Quran. the Quran is translations of the Quran into other languages like English or whatever are, well, they're sort of viewed with, well, I don't, there's some, because of the fact that the sound of the Arabic language has a lot to do with the meaning of the words. So I think that that's all quite fascinating, that sound and music, the Song of Songs, which is Solomon's, right? The Song of the Lord. All those things are sort of in common. And maybe, of course it's true, that maybe they have other points of agreement as well, such as humility, such as mercy, such as doing your best work for your God, for the simple reason that it's the best work you can do for your God. I think that's important. And they all sort of, from what I can sense, again, I'm no expert, but there are commonalities worth thinking about and worth looking for. Yeah. So maybe we should stop yelling at each other. Why you this, that? Why you this, that, and the other? And maybe listen and look for commonalities and how we can help each other, thereby doing God's work, however you approach God. Mercy, kindness, understanding, sound. That's the true song of the Lord. Oh, come to me, all who are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Oh, marvelous, marvelous words. Song, sound. Great stuff. Okay, bit of a rambling rant here about sound, music, and sort of a subfield of interest in my reading. All right, I'll talk with you later. I'll have the next installment of the Prokofiev Piano Works analyses pretty much ready to go by the end of this month, and definitely by the end of the summer, the Opus 62 number 1 analysis will be up, ready for those of us who are interested in such things to look at and to peruse and to consider. All right, that's it for now. Or rather, get my wound in here. Talk to you later.